Your eyes that wander from far to near, tiny ears that we now know can hear. Your fingers, they are few, many things they can do. Short little legs that at birth were turned, growing stronger each day, so willing to learn. Your face so beautiful, like that of a doll, it's laughter from inside that says it all. You are God's special angel, and will always know why. He sent you for us. We love you, your Father and I. Hi everyone, we are John and Kendra Johansen, and this is our Jennifer's Life Story.
I had lots of plans.
And I had lots of dreams.
We both thought we had the rest of our lives planned out pretty well.
But
God had other plans.
He sure did. Suddenly our world was turned completely, really upside down. That day was almost 30 years ago. That day was the day that our Jennifer Lee was born, 6 weeks early on March 30th, 1987.
It was so hard to see God's plan at first. Here was this tiny baby struggling to even live and breathe. She had severely deformed fingers and deformed legs. It just broke our hearts.
She was barely hanging on, just struggling to breathe, and we were so wrapped up in the busyness of our new life as parents of a child that had special needs. Our time with God really took a back seat, and we pulled him out really only when we needed him to fix our life.
All of that changed in 1992 in the spring, just 1 week away from Jennifer's 5th birthday. You see, she had a cyst on the base of her brain when she was born. Typically, those cysts grow right from birth, but this one took 5 years, according to God's plan. Kendra started to write poems as therapy in helping all of us to help deal with it and also the pain of a parent's broken heart.
As I started to write this poem for you, the tears they came for what you've been through. I tried so hard to feel your pain. Your days were long, would time still remain? Our family and friends, they watched as you lay, some silent with tears, but oh how we prayed. The doctor said this had to be done, a shunt in your head, the battle we just won. And then as you woke, no longer with fear, we said to ourselves, God surely was here.
Yes, he was. You see, we almost lost the most precious gift that God had ever given us. But that wasn't the first time. Routine exams are never considered routine in our home. Here's another example of God's unending mercy and grace as he gently led us through this difficult time in our life.
We were taking her in, it was only a test. Then they drained the shunt, and what they found was a mess. The doctor came out, and this is what he said: we need to put one more up higher in her head. We replied, go ahead, as we sat down in great fear. We were so scared and unsure, our family was nowhere near. Then he came to us like sunshine in the night. My name is Joe. Your daughter will be all right. We sat as he spoke, for he had had the same done. She will feel so much better, now life will be fun. The surgery was over, it was time now to go. It was God who did send to us this man named Joe.
Yes, God had certainly sent this man and so many others to come. In 1994, the working head shunt collapsed, and during another routine procedure, Jennifer was in respiratory and cardiac arrest.
So this is what I wrote. She lay there not breathing, lifeless and so. We stood and yelled, Dear God, don't let her go. 7 years of life's bullets passed right through our hearts, for we knew in an instant, soon we might part. We sat and we prayed and we just didn't know. We said to our angel, it's okay if you go. They took her to surgery and we waited to see those beautiful eyes of our Jennifer Lee. She slept for days. Then she opened her eyes. We thanked our dear God, he put back our lives.
And that was really the turning point in our faith journey with God, because when we were faced at the point where we knew she could really go this time, that was the most severe up to that point. we knew everything was fine either way. You know, the hymn, "It Is Well With My Soul," really resonated through our hearts, and we did say our goodbyes. We put it in God's hands at that point and said, whatever happens is fine with us. And that's very difficult as a parent, especially when that's your only child. So that, I think, was a defining moment in our faith journey. Well, Jennifer went on through her life, and she went to school at Westridge, Indian Hills, and then near tragedy struck again. That was in the fall of 2005, just 8 months before her high school graduation.
Yeah, see, infection spread throughout that tubing that was connected to her head shunt, and it was bad. It was very, very bad.
The next 2 weeks were spent at Methodist Hospital here in Des Moines, where they desperately tried to clear the infection. It was spreading like wildfire through her body, but the doctors just couldn't keep up. And so they sent the monster that was causing our girl to quickly fade from our lives was really taking its course.
So without hesitation, Jennifer was quickly sent to Iowa City, where a specialty team of neurosurgeons performed really a series of several life-saving surgeries, and then they added a second shunt to that first shunt they had originally put in Des Moines.
So time went on. Jennifer was recovering, and she was able to graduate with the rest of her Valley High School classmates. We couldn't have been more proud at that time.
Yeah, so 6 months later, still in 2006, even though Jennifer had graduated and was getting stronger, we were right back in Iowa City once again. Really because the two new shunts that they had put in weren't working very well together, and so it looked like more surgery was needed.
And then, in true Jennifer fashion, she quickly recovered. However, but she developed later on double pneumonia that was very resistant to antibiotics. It was another time where we nearly lost her. So in our roller coaster of time of healing and more devastation with life-threatening sicknesses, this was keeping true to what we had been experiencing.
Yeah, so what John was talking about, that pneumonia, that was actually February 2007. So that was actually 4 months, I think, after the surgery in the fall. We were very devastated during that pneumonia time because the doctor told us that the outlook was not good. It wasn't good at all. One of her lungs was 100% filled. I think that was the left lung, and the right lung was 85% filled. And so at that point, the doctor came in and he really just told us that we needed to start making final arrangements for Jennifer and get everything in order. It didn't look good. These kind of things don't go well, and didn't really expect Jennifer to make it. So with the guidance of our pastor, who came in later that afternoon, we sat around her bedside and we said a prayer with Jennifer. And it was probably one of the hardest things that we had to do. And we prayed with our pastor, and we basically said to Jennifer, that if it was time for her to go, that really we were okay with that. It was hard for us to say that. And I think looking back, it's hard for us to even think about that. It was really difficult. It was tearing our hearts apart because we wanted her to stay for us and for our family, but we knew that maybe God had other plans. And so at that moment, we really had to just release her, and we just had to trust. We had to trust that God knew really what he was doing.
4 days had gone by, and she was still in the ICU. So the doctors had been doing daily x-rays to check on the pneumonia, and on the 4th day, her 4th x-ray came back that her lungs were completely clear. And the doctors were astounded. They couldn't explain it, and they would come to us saying they couldn't explain it. And we were able to answer back, well, we know why. And we had faith all along that whatever would happen would be fine with us, but we knew that we weren't in charge. So that's how that one ended.
Yeah, that's so true. I think what John is saying is really true. especially in our life, because so many times we try to control things and we think we know the way things ought to go, and we've learned that we just can't control those things, that we really have to leave it up to God, because He does know ultimately. So throughout the following years, Jennifer really has been working on physical therapy. She walks every Monday at Methodist, the Yonker area, for developing her legs and keeping strong. You know, people ask us many times how we deal with it all, and you know, I guess we just say that we have learned to place God at the head of our house. Jennifer's really taught us that a lot, over and over again, actually. And you know, we've learned too that God is the only one that you can really run to and tell Him everything. I mean, through the good times and the bad times, He is always there. Sometimes, you know, you go through life and you wonder, you know, if He's really there. Well, we can tell you, you know, going through life with Jennifer, that He truly is there. And, you know, you need to remember that His arms are really big and really strong, and they're big enough and strong enough to hold us all, really. He will never, He'll never leave you. So just let Him hold you right where you are, just as you are.
No matter how great our problems, our God is greater. So now that we've shared our story, we'd also like to invite you all to Jennifer's 30-year birthday party. This will be taking place on Saturday, March 25th from 11 to 1 at the West Side Polk County Senior Center, located at 134 6th Street, West Des Moines, Iowa. Thanks for listening to our story. We really, truly, sincerely hope that it touched your hearts and you can understand and know us a little bit better, and mostly Jennifer, because this is about her and about our faith in God. So just thank you. Thanks for your time.